Rev up your engine! Okay, today I got this cute little Pontiac Solstice. The customer brought it over. It's driving weird, it's kind of herky-jerking. So I'm going to show you how you can diagnose and fix it. Now, many things can do that. Always start with the basics. First, check the engine oil and filter. If that's low with these complex turbocharged engines, variable valve timing, loss of oil pressure can make them do that. So first, check the oil. Wipe it off. Stick it back in. And let's see. It's full and it's relatively clean. Now, if it had been low or really dirty, that can mess up the variable valve timing and make it go squirrely and hesitate. But that's not the case. Now we're going to check the coolant to see if that's low. And in this case, it's really simple. Well, it's on the halfway mark here, so that's fine. Then we'll check the air filter. Take it out. It's relatively clean. It's not all that bad. When I put it up to the sun, you can see the light shining through, so it's not clogged. Now, since this is a turbocharged car, if there's any kind of air leaks, that can really mess with the turbocharger. So we'll check for loose or cracked vacuum lines too. We'll look all over the place. Could be a loose line anywhere. We'll take the stupid cover off too, since it blocks a lot of stuff. We'll look all around for any kind of cracked hoses, loose fittings. So next we'll pull out a spark plug. We'll take the ignition coil off and see what it looks like. We'll just take the 10mm bolt off, pull out the ignition spark plug coil, and take out the spark plug. These are aluminum, so do it on a cold engine. You don't want to do it on a hot engine or you might end up cross-threading on the aluminum. And here's the spark plug. Now, it's not particularly worn. It's a little bit black. Now, the top isn't, but the inside is. Now, I found from my own experience working on these 4-cylinder, 2-liter turbos at GMX, that's relatively normal as they age, you know. This thing is 13 years old. And they do tend to run a little bit rich. That's pretty typical for these things. This isn't worn out, it's not particularly bad, but it is running a little bit rich. So I'll put the spark plug back in, put the ignition coil back on. Now we're gonna warm it up, put a scan tool on it. So I'll plug the scan tool in, then we'll check to see what it says. And we're gonna be looking at the entire data list to see if there's any anomalies. Thing to always check is the MAF sensor. The grams per second should be close to the engine side. In this case, it's only 1.22 grams per second. It should be 2.0 because that's the size of the engine. And now I'm going to rev up the engine to see what happens. As you can see, it's hardly changing at all. It should be going much higher because we're sucking more air in the engine. Now I can be wiring a computer stuff, but the MAF sensor's right here and it's very easy to change. So we're just going to do another one and put it in and then check it with the data stream. You just unplug it, squeeze it, pull it out, and take the 2 screws out. 1 and 2. Now here's a new one. You can see it's shaped the same and I always put them in the same way. In this case, this was facing forward, so you make that face forward when you put it in. Just plops in the hole, you put the 2 screws in, one on the top, one on the bottom. Careful not to drop them because they're awful tiny. That's stuck, and this just snaps back on. Now we'll start it back up. And now we can see when you rev the engine up, you got airflow like you're supposed to. It's not staying at 1.2, it's going up like it's supposed to. So now while it's warming up, we'll put all this crap back on and close the hood and take it for a road test. And here we go. Nice smooth acceleration, no herky-jerky. Seems fixed. So now you know how to diagnose and fix a car that's accelerating herky-jerky. Sometimes it's very simple if you got a little knowledge. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.